I'm Alex Howard.
And I'm Amanda Silver. And this is Dirty Laundry.
We don't need to ask for a divorce. Like,
No.
Yeah.
I'm leaving you. I'm getting a divorce.
Yeah,
Thank you very
bye-bye.
much.
Yeah.
Stop
Have a
asking
nice-
for anything. Just start telling.
Just start demanding
Yeah.
what you need, what you're worth, right? I mean, we are so silenced as women. We are hopeful. We are these like optimists that are on a mission to change all of the men and make up for their childhood trauma and the fact that they can't share emotions because they're socially conditioned to not. Well, like, fuck off, grow up, read a book, like, get a therapist. Enough is enough. And so, yeah, we have to stand up and support one another and be someone's safety plan. And like, just an FYI to those listening, call me any day of the week and I will be your safety plan. Like, people need to be supporting one another instead of shaming, instead of going, oh, well, what about the kids? Like, fuck that narrative. How can I help? How can I be there for you? What do you need?
Yeah. And we got to start just like, why don't we just, again, start believing people? And if I'd rather like lean into someone like and believe them and be wrong, because that percentage is going to be very low, than the other way around.
Exactly.
So you've got women that are in these situations. And I mean, people reach out to us on our shows and it's bonkers how similar all of these perpetrators are.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know what like
it's chilling.
dirty mag that they're passing around with, like the playbook of how to fuck people.
And the person that they're with is also similar. You've got a very empathic, I can fix him or them type of person. And then it's the same playbook over and over and over and over again.
And they want to, because I just was like, how did I miss this? Like, I'm a smart woman. How did I, like, what the hell? But what you realize is that somebody who has this personality, like pathological person, right? So a pathological person is going to look to somebody that's empathic or, and maybe has like a messy story where you're easily manipulated because, whatever they tell you in that, like when they're Prince Charming and whatever, you're like, oh, this sounds really good. You share vulnerable parts of your life with them. And they're like, oh yes, I totally get it. I understand. Oh my God, I've been there. Like, we're just vibing and you're my soulmate. And this is all happening like in the first like 48 hours.
They become a mirror. They become a mirror for you and your trauma. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but be careful, ladies, because they're putting all that shit in their narc vault.
Yeah.
And they're going to
the narc
vault later.
Oh God.
They're going to use it later.
They are weaponizing all of your traumas. And so then when you're in that, when they love you, because they devalue, they like value all the cool shit. I was the coolest chick. Oh, I'm an actor. You're so fucking cool. And then you're like, ew, you're an actor. Like, ew, that is gross.
It's not a real
and
job.
And you're like, well, wait, like you really thought I was awesome before. Now you don't. That's part of the play, right? So then you're in this cycle, you're in mind fucking. And then you're like, well, okay, how do I get them back to loving me again?
Right.
Yeah. So that person that you initially met, who was all the things that you wanted.
You're going to do the work.
Yes.
You're not realizing that that's the wrong approach. You're like, how do I quiet myself, make myself better, smaller, quieter, shut the fuck up, be a yes person, do whatever they want. Because clearly this is a me problem. And it's a them problem, but they're done a very good job of convincing you otherwise. So you start shedding all of like your armor, the things that make you sort of have your power, and you give it all to them just so that you can have that love piece again and get them back. And they'll show it to you. And we say like the cycle of abuse can be a week, 2 weeks, years. I mean, it's not like it happens every single second.
Yeah.
No,
and you can like, oh, wow, we just had a really great, like, I can't say a year because there's like too many holidays within a year and like narcissists love to fuck up a good holiday. So like it's at least like you can just get through like a good quarter.
Or a vacation or something. Like you go on vacation, the narcissist on vacation is very different to the narcissist at home. Right. And so, you have sort of little spurts of like that old person that you see again. But that
Well,
person
I think
never
like
existed.
a toxic person is a horrible vacation partner. Just so you know, it's like they love to spend good money to fuck up a great time in a location where you're fucked.
Exactly. Where then you have even less resources than you did at home. Yeah. Now you're displaced.
They'll take you out of your comfort and your safety and But also I think that as you're talking, I'm thinking about women who who have children and who it feels like that is a lot of the trigger is when you're in your sort of childbearing sort of years where you're the most vulnerable, where maybe you were like high powered, you were working, you were an actor, you had all these things going for you and you had your own power and your own money. And then naturally you're home with kids because that's sort of the cycle of the life cycle. And that is when things go to hell because you are totally powerless. Yeah.
And I hear a lot of women tell the similar story that like the children were not a plan. It just like all happened very fast and now we're having kids and maybe we were talking like one lady was like we had a full like long conversation about never having kids and then the next thing I know I'm pregnant and you're like well that's like the ultimate trap, right? And I like with the love we all love our children, that's not that they're not the trap, but like you are now connected forever to this person. And so the why we know this post separation abuse is real is because if you have kids together they're still going to do everything they can for that power and control over you. So, and they're going to use the kids as the proxy. Yeah. And that's the unfortunate part. You feel like that's the helpless part. And like, I love to share that dirty laundry part of it because to the women that are like listening going, oh, it'll get better when I'm on the other side. It's not going to be easier necessarily. It's going to be safer. Yeah. And then you're going to have to do all the other work to make it better and your life better and like, you know, heal yourself. But to say like the hope and this, it's going to be so great. No, fucking not. It's not. It's going to be hard as shit. And you're going to suffer more, but you're going to be safe.
But it's worth it. It's worth it in the end. But let's not sugarcoat
the long game, you know, 10, 20 years from now, you'll be happy that you made that decision. But you're in for a really rough
it's an uphill battle for sure.
It's a real battle.
And that's what I like about you. You're straight up and you're honest. This is going to be really hard.
It's not Pollyanna. Like you leave and everything's going to be great. No, it's quite the opposite. But
no, and you have to like do things like I'm taking my learned experience and I'm in this. Like I have young kids. I am going to court tomorrow to fight a contempt charge for a restraining order that was built on a lie that didn't get granted in the end, but I have to, I'm like, well, why do I have to, there's no, what the fuck? But I have to go tomorrow. And that's like, that's the reality, right? So I'm going to go tomorrow and I have to be prepared and I'm going to be re-traumatized.
Yeah.
And I have this like pit in my stomach that I have to sit in front of a judge and like hope to God that he sees, you know, it for what it is.
Yeah.
But that's the reality, right? So what I'm doing in my, like with bitch is a bad word, is taking my experience and saying, okay, this is what I would do. This is your bestie toolkit that we're giving you. These tools in your toolkit to say, no contact is fucking important. Yeah. I have now, and I wish I had done it at the beginning, I put Life 360 on my own self. Like, so that I can say to a court, I was never like, here's how, like, cause I live honestly. Yeah. So I'm like, here's all the places I was, like, there's not possible that I was ever there.
Nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have cameras around my house. Like, these are the things, like, and it sounds like, holy shit, this is kind of nuts, but you need to protect yourself because if you're in a battle and, you know, if you're fighting something in court with them, with this kind of person, they are relentless. And they whatever chip or something, I don't know what it is that they're missing, that they can just do this forever and ever and never feel like they're running out of power, like to steam. Yeah. And you don't have that because like you're a non-pathological person.
You just want to move on with your life and live a sort of normal life unbothered. Yeah. But this gives them reason to get up in the morning.
It does. So I just like always say, listen, don't do it. Don't fall into the trap. Yeah. Go no contact. Use a parenting app. Use, you know, the things that you think if you were in a relationship with this person, you walked on eggshells, and then you were always very quick to respond when they finally gave you something to respond to, whether it was like a question, attention, whatever. So we're conditioned to like when that message goes off, you're like, ping, oh my God, I got to answer it. And I got to respond right now.
Yeah.
And you know, they're like very calculated. Like I look on my thing, I'm like, oh, it's amazing. I always get emails at 8:00 on my parenting time.
Right.
That's not like by accident.
No.
Right. They know you're just settling into story time with your kids and it's supposed to be a special time and boom.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's something to chew on.
Yeah. And they're like, why is this important now? Okay. So it's not, but it's important to them that they fuck around with your time. And so you start realizing like every time I built a boundary and then I removed the boundary because I thought it was better for the kids, I got fucked. So it's like, put the boundaries back up. Hey, listen, anything you need to talk to me about, non-emergency, can go on an app that I can decide to look at whenever I want to look at it. And going back to like what you guys do, and which I wish I would have done, your parenting plan is your fucking Bible.
Yes.
And you get to like, please make sure that parenting plan covers everything possible.
Yeah.
Like down to like the mouth guard they're going to need for flag football, whatever it is.
And who's paying for it?
And for the next, like, let's go 21, like, let's go through university.
Yeah.
Because this is the only thing that the judge cares about.
Yeah.
So all the other ancillary things that like if it's not in the parenting plan, you can't really argue it in court. And for a long time, I didn't realize that. So then I'd be like back and forth in court, like a couple times a month, fighting for shit that didn't make any sense. And then he'd be like, the judge, parenting plan. And it finally set in where I'm going, hold on. Every single time they send me something and they're going to find something new to like make you look like you're an asshole about like not agreeing to, you just have to go, is it in the parenting plan? Because that's the only like, and now I go, fine, take me to court. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Because like you want to make an argument about something that is not in here, then there's a procedure. We're going to have to go to family court services. We're going to have to like, it's not just the judge is going to say, like, I agree with you. They're going to make you do the work. And in California, you can only go to family court services once a year.
Oh, wow.
So like,
I like that limited access.
Is that for just like is that like non-emergency type of thing? Like just your regular.
So if you're in high conflict, then, and you need family court services to be involved, then you each have one time a year to sit with family court services and make changes that you could, you can change your parenting plan if you have like a reasonable person agreeing to all this shit anytime you want and file it.
You know what I love about you, Lindsay, is listening to your journey. It was like I had these friends that I wanted to share stuff with and I was silenced. And then I was in this relationship and I was silenced some more. And then I was trying to figure out how to parent and I was silenced some more. And it's constantly sort of going against what you knew, your intuition of wanting to speak out, of wanting to, use your voice. Fast forward, here we are today, and you have this platform now. You have created a place where you use your voice day in and day out. And it's this like, I will not be silenced anymore. And I just love that liberation because you have been through this. And your sort of empathy to wanting to make things right in your relationship has now sort of switched gears into wanting to make it right for so many others that are going through it. And I just think that is the kind of service that empaths need to be doing, right? Not fixing these sad, pathetic, broken men, but rather
use your powers for good, right? And not on these hopeless men.
Exactly. And like, fuck that lawyer that told you not to speak out about your DV. Like, fuck all of these people that were silencing you. And I'm just switching gears now to the pod because I think it's so impressive what you have done and the courage and the tenacity to stand up and go, no more. And I'm going to just, raise the boat for everybody else with me alongside. And I just love that. I think it's so incredible. So tell us a little bit about the pod quickly, because we've taken up a lot of your time, as we love to do. We get to chatting.
No, it's okay. I blocked out. I was like, this is going to go long.
Yeah.
It might be a two-parter. You might be a two-parter on Dirty Laundry. Yeah.
I went on a show and it ended up, we had such a good time. I went on When Dating Hurts with Bill Mitchell, and it ended up being like a 3-parter. And then I had him on my show. And oh my God, he's great.
I love when that happens.
Yeah,
that's
the synergies.
Cool. Yeah, the synergies. We were talking about the synergies earlier.
But yeah, so your pod, bitch is a bad word.
Bitch is a bad word. Yeah. So it's taken on a life of its own. It was like initially intended to be one thing, and then our producer was like, "Could you make this a pod? Like, I wanted to share my story in some way.
Okay.
But do it like under the guise of fiction."
Mm.
And then she's like, "Okay, well, the landscape has changed in Hollywood. Could you make this a podcast?" And so I didn't really know what that meant. And I didn't understand like the responsibility that I would have after, getting out there and then really being the voice for the voiceless. And it sort of grew. I mean, we've been on air for 2 months. We were an Apple New and Noteworthy podcast. Like people care about the topic, right?
Yes.
And but so do the other people on the other side. Right?
Fair. You get a lot of hate mail.
A lot of eyes on you. But you know what? As long as people are talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, okay. So on the show, we kind of felt like at the beginning, we have a responsibility to tell our story. And that was a very dangerous feeling. And it did come like it's, the exes try to silence you and you're like, well, I'm not mentioning any names. If this bothers you, don't listen to it. It's like, it's freedom of speech, but it's also like for a long time, I was really like, I'd get a message and they were like, shut it down. I can't believe we'd go to court and, family court. I'm like, well, this isn't a family court decision.
Right.
Anyway, like family court, I'm not doing anything illegal. And, like this is my job. And I have a First Amendment protection. And you know what? Like, this is a matter of great public importance. And I believe that domestic abuse is an epidemic of the greatest epidemic that our generation is experiencing. And we need to talk about it for people to destigmatize it and really bring it to a new generation. I feel like you look at these, like, God bless, like all of the DV shelters and they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And we fully support that. But there's that's not always the option, right? Yeah. They're full and there's caveats to getting into a domestic violence shelter. And for me, I always say, I was a very wealthy woman. I'm not going to drive my Range Rover into a shelter. I'm not. I can't do it. I'm like that. I'm donating to these places. I can't be taking the services that somebody else needs more than I do. I needed that shelter though. I mean, that's the reality, but I wasn't quite there. So when this show has grown, we're saying, we need to, it's antiquated. The information is antiquated. A domestically abused woman doesn't just have bruises on her face and, it's her husband's just come home and cracked open a Budweiser and started beating the shit out of her because he had a bad day at work. That's not what abuse looks like all the time.
Yeah.
Abuse looks like being coercively controlled into things that you don't want to do, financially restricted and controlled in ways that you don't want to be controlled, and bad words. That's the ethos of our show. Bad words, they're not just bad words, it's abuse.
Yes.
Someone constantly coming at you, calling you, I've been called a cunt more times than I could ever express.
I hate that
I've
word.
been called a bitch. I've been called, so many awful things. And there was for years this whatever. I didn't mean it. You're so sensitive. Why'd you, I just say shit. No, actually that's verbal abuse.
Yeah.
And that is so hard to deal with. And I would almost say, because I've experienced both, the verbal abuse stays with you forever. And you really have to work on yourself to not feel like you're the thing that the person is calling you. And so coming on the show and making bitch is a bad word was I want it to be fresh. I want it to have lightness. I want there to be we need to laugh because otherwise like it's already dark. The topic is hard. But to make it approachable to like, hey, listen, I had all this shit and it was happening to me. And so if it's happening to me, it's probably going to happen to you. And the more that we can talk about it and the more people feel like, the person on the other end of this is that you'll never be able to heal them. Your job is not to fix them.
No, you can't anyways, even if it was your job.
Yeah. And like, who has time for that shit anyway?
And I think the key of all of this in terms of storytelling, in terms of, podcasts like both of ours, is so much of the abuse is, especially in the early days, is about that isolation. It's cutting you off. And this is the opposite of that. This is saying you're not alone. This is happening to so many people around the world. And as we've already alluded to, this playbook, like we can all pinpoint what's coming next. Yeah. You're not alone. Come join our community. Don't let this isolation.
And don't feel shame because you're driving the Range Rover and then you have no money in your account. Don't, people are so ashamed. They want to cover it up. They don't want to say that they're being financially abused, right? And so it's like, you know what? It's enough of that. It's enough of that hiding in the dark. It's like, come out, say it for what it is, and that's how you get help.
Yes, and you can get help even if you have a Range Rover, even if you are living in a mansion.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't.
You still deserve help.
Yes, you deserve help, and you can still be abused. You can still be controlled. Yes,
I want to say like. Almost like where I live in a very like small community and there's a lot of affluence. And I look around now with like a different lens going, there's a lot of people still together. Like we don't, our community doesn't have like a very distinct 50-50 divorce rate, but I know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And the more that I find like it's in the very wealthy that like, they don't know how to leave. You're not going to the country club and being like, oh, Betsy, last night I just got the shit beat out of me, but like here I am. Like that's not happening. And because you're living this one world, like I've seen it all, right?
They want to keep up appearances, and that becomes such a focus to the detriment of their happiness. They're living in misery, but it's all a facade.
Yeah,
so many people are living a facade,
and the fear is real because you're like you don't know what's. You're only listening to one narrative, and your abuser's point of view is very skewed. And very fucked up and it's not in your best interest ever. So they're telling you things that are probably not true. So I love what you guys are doing. Like I love like putting on the show, like banding people together to say, listen, if you're listening right now, why don't you give a mediator a call? Like it's not good. Like nobody has to know about it. Yeah. We're trying to figure out ways like we have 2 shows right now. We have Bitch is a Bad Word, like the main platform. And then we have a Bitch Sesh where we're inviting women to come on anonymously if they want to share their stories. But we can also pass resources along a little bit more anonymously that way. And we're also starting a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Bitch is a Bad Word. And on there, we have like 3 different tiers, but you can gift a Patreon membership to a bestie, as we call our listeners. So if they're being financially controlled or monitored, and they can come into this very safe environment, we vet anybody who joins as well. You have to give a driver's license.
Amazing.
We have to know like it's safe for you. And we're building a community over there where hopefully women can share resources, feel seen, heard, safe, loved, and get to a point and get to a place where they can like very covertly rebuild their power. Yeah. Because that's what someone's done to you. All they've done, they haven't at your core, who you are is not gone. No. But they've just like stripped it from you. And if you have no power, then they have all the control. And that's just anytime there's an imbalance of one of those things, you're setting yourself up to be victimized. Yeah. So we like build this community, and it's just sort of like growing like organically. Like every week I'm like, what can we do today? Like, what can I fuck around with?
I love that. I love that you're giving people a place, a safe place to go so that they don't feel alone. Because so many people who are listening, they feel like they're the only ones who are going through this. And that's such a big part of what we do, is to try and make people realize that you are not alone and you can get support.
We have a segment called Texties from the Exes, and we read text messages from the Exes testes, and they are hauntingly.
I love it. Do you want to read one today? Do you have any on hand? Do you want to read a textie from an Extie?
I can read a textie from
we would love that.
Okay, I'll read it.
Do us the honor and please read us a textie from the Exes testes.
So what's crazy is that all these people, and so I read them
every episode.
And we don't see every episode on Bitch is a Bad Word.
Yeah.
And we are getting people who send them to us we have a phone line, 331 bitches. And you can send us a text message or a phone call.
We gotta
and I'll
text
answer
them.
it.
We'll text you from dirty laundry.
Yeah, you guys should text. You should encourage anybody that's coming through, be like, hey, if you really want to vent and get this out, send her your text.
I'm going to. I have some clients that I'm going to recommend this to, actually. Yeah, because it is so cathartic. Get this out. Realize how insane it is. You don't react to it. You don't have to live it alone. It's so validating for others to be like, what? That's so messed up. And you're like, yes, my intuition was right. It is messed up.
It is. It's okay. So I'm going to read you two, and you would have to decide if they came from the same person or not.
It's like a game show.
Do we have a buzzer? We need a buzzer. We need a hot pink button.
Yeah.
Note to self.
How's it look? You like it? It looks super cuss. You're a loser. Fuck off. Don't waste my time. I just said I think you might be drinking too much. LOL, cunt. And I say, I'm here to help you get help. I'm happier than I've been in years, cunt. You're the one that needs help. I said, the way you speak to me is disgusting. And he said, it's truth. Hard to hear for people like you. You're a pussy. You pretend you're not. Weakest woman I've ever been with. If you were ugly, you'd be dead. Let that sink in. You need to get a job. When you do, then you'll begin to relate to people like me. Until then, shut your mouth because your opinion means nothing. You're just a leech. Your thoughts are just about you and you're gross. No one cares except you. Learn to give.
Oh my God.
There's some unhappy people out there.
That was cute.
Yeah.
And then
you got to get the hat.
Wow.
You should trademark that hat.
Yeah, I know.
No, seriously.
It's going
with an asterisk for the U, and just send us the hat. I'll wear the hat.
Oh,
the cunt hat?
Yeah, I'll wear it.
Yeah.
I'll wear it
You'd
proudly.
wear it proudly.
I would wear it so proudly. Yeah. So I'd be hot pink.
Yeah, no, you need to. And then I'm going to read you one that just popped into the DMs. Trailer park white trash cunt comes to the San Diego Zoo to Jerry Springer this motherfucker out of with shitty fucking attitudes and being an absolute cunt to her husband before we even get out of the parking lot. And you and your dad can go fuck yourselves. I get to be accounted for if you want me to pay. If you don't want me to have input, you can pay your own fucking way and get a fucking divorce while you're at it. You and your fucking daddy can kiss my fucking ass with your trailer park white trash Bill Gothard cult ways. You never plan for a good time. You plan to be a fucking asshole like your dad and tell people what to do, and you ain't got a lick of common fucking sense. You just want to be the fucking cunt with instructions that makes no goddamn sense. I mean, if there's not a playbook, come on. They all sound the same. And it's
vitriol.
These are two different people.
Yeah, it's wild.
Talking to two different women on two different sides of the country, I have to say.
Wild.
So much hate, so much anger.
And yet, was there ever love? Was there ever, this is my partner. This is who I'm courting. This is who I want to say sweet nothings to then flip the script to, like I said,
that's not real love. It's maybe infatuation and lust and passion.
Or it's just manipulation to get
these
ultimately what you want.
I think if you can, these people, I am going to brush them together. Yeah, if they can flip that switch into such vile hatred towards their spouse, it was never real love in the beginning. In the true sense of the word.
Well, and it does go back to the actual disorder, personality disorder, whereby I don't think that there is a capacity for love, full stop, right? Whether it's yourself, whether it's your partner, whether it's your children. I don't know that there is the capacity for that. So I think really, if you are up against this kind of person through your separation, through co-parenting, having a understanding about what you are actually dealing with, the kind of personality that you're up against. Because, I have clients that are like, well, just like, why won't they, accept this offer? Your offer is very reasonable. They are not.
Right.
They're never going to negotiate. They cannot, really understanding
their limitations.
that you're not negotiating with a rational human.
No.
You are dealing
and
with
it
somebody.
only takes one person to create the high conflict situation.
Yes.
And I really like to say that a
Yeah.
lot because I felt this way. I'm like, they're high conflict, or that's an abusive or they. No.
Mm-mm.
Now I've realized it doesn't always take two to tango.
No.
It sometimes it's like, it is, we say like these types of pathological people, these people, they like to create unsolvable problems.
Yes.
And if you look at it from that perspective and you're like, everything you offer is reasonable, if the more reasonable it is, the more they want to push back and not agree to it just for the fucking sake of it. And you're like, okay, understanding that this is a negative sum game for you. So like, if you can give up some of the shit, like whatever it is, if it's like, sit with yourself and be like, what am I willing?
Yeah.
Like, what's the price of peace?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that, and I don't say it lightly because like you need to eat and you need to be able to put a roof over your head. Like there's like core basic human necessities but they want to keep you from those. Just remember that. So it's like, how do you protect yourself? Going back to that parenting plan, going back to the negotiations, but these pathological people, when you come to the realization and the understanding that they don't love themselves, and that's it. So there's nothing more you need to know.
Yeah.
They operate from a great deep sense of shame.
Mm-hmm.
And when you read a textie from an XD like that, that is a shame-filled person.
Yeah.
That is a person who feels that way about themselves.
Yeah.
And whatever this chick did at the zoo, I mean, what can you do really wrong at the fucking zoo? Like, nothing. Like, I don't know. So, but they'll find something. Yeah. And that's like their entire goal is to create an environment that makes you feel like the crazy person and that you're the wrong. They are just not loving themselves. Yeah. And they can't, and who knows? And we ain't got time for that.
And it's not your job. Yeah.
It's not your job. So like, they're never going to come to the table with you. They're never and sorry, I always like, this is the reference. They're a snake in the basket. The second you think everything's good, put your fucking big girl pants on because they're about to take you for a ride. Yeah. And something's like, anytime there's silence, I'm like, oh God.
Something's
just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Wait for it. Just brace yourself. And the only way that I've learned now, and it's taken me a long fucking time. So many times I'm like, why did I answer that? Yeah. Why didn't I do this? Like, no contact. We say on the show, DNE, do not engage. Don't fucking do it. Yeah. It's not worth it. There's a great resource called Amy Says. And Amy Says is an AI tool that you can go, it's doesn't track. So you can go to amysays.com. You can put in all of the messages that they've ever sent you and she'll respond. This is manipulation. This is coercive. This is this. And she'll pull all the shit for you and help you generate a response that removes all the emotion. Yes. Because what they want is to elicit a response from you. So the less you give them, and I promise you, I did this. If you look at my text messages back, I'd be like, but wait, you don't understand. That's not the way it went. And oh my God,
that's not true.
Please, hear me out. Like, fuck, they don't give a fuck. No, stop.
Yeah.
So one word, you break out all this shit, and it's like, what needs to be accomplished here? If it's not about picking up your kids or like some emergency or whatever, you, by the way, don't have to respond.
Yep.
And
first and foremost, you do not have to respond. You don't have to fight every battle you're invited to, right?
Never. No, you do not. So
they will constantly be inviting you. It will never end. Yeah. It's not like it's just this one battle. There's another one that they're preparing right after that. Yeah. You got to stop it.
Yeah.
You can, and you like ignoring it. And again, if it's a non-emergency, then you can sit on it for like 24 hours. I just like, let it sit there. Let it and like also watch, especially if they're hot, if they're like on fire, they're going to go ballistic and they're going to fucking send like spew messages one way after the other. And if you play their game properly, you can use that if they are being nasty and they're sending you all this shit. You can't just email people or text people that you're a fucking cunt. That's abuse, right?
Yes,
like, let's be real.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you don't respond to somebody and you keep saying, stop, do not, like, I'm not engaging, don't text me again, and they keep texting you, guess what? You can take that and get a restraining order.
Yeah.
You need to like start understanding that there's like ways that you can come in. Like you are not having to be abused any further, verbally, textually, that's a word, or otherwise. Textual, sexual, all the
actuals.
But start like understanding, like you have to play in a position of power. They don't want to negotiate with you. They don't want to say yes to you. Their favorite word is no. And their favorite thing to do is to create conflict. And what they're sadly doing is they're going to use the kids as pawns. And you as an empathic, protective mother are going to have a really hard time with that. But guess what? Your kids need you to be strong. So if you're saying, this comes up in my situation, and I don't have like the funds to do this, but you figure it out. My kids really want to play a sport. Well, guess what? The other parent really loves to make it hard to like pay for even though it's in the parenting plan that they have to pay half of it. They know you're not really going to go to court, file an RFO that gets seen in 3 months because the fucking season's already over.
And spend more than the cost of the actual activity. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if this is important to you and this is important to your kid and you can afford to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I write these texts like so-and-so wants to play this sport. They fall on your time. If you don't want to take them on your time, that's fine. I'm going to take them on my time and I'm going to pay for it. Will you please pay me half? Yeah, sure. Send me the receipt, a blood sample, a fucking stool sample, and then perhaps I'll pay for it the other half later. And I'm going to send it Pony Express, post-dated check, and I'm going to actually write the words wrong, like the number in the box and the number in the field won't match. So you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like understand that that's what they want.
I'm going to make you work for that.
Yeah.
For for what I have to pay, you're going to work for it.
Yeah.
You're going to work hard.
Yeah. Hard.
So make the decision to say, if this is important to myself and to my kid, that I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to submit the expense and I'm going to pretend like, and understand I'm most likely never going to get the money. Because they don't care about not giving you the money. They care about you getting upset about not getting the money. They want to elicit a response.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, well, I'm doing this. Same with shoes, same with clothes. I'm like, the more conversations you have, like, I didn't get the shoes back. Okay. They know that you can't wear the shoes. They know you can't wear the kids' clothes. They don't care about that. They care about you getting upset that you bought the new shoes and they're sending them back with the old shoes. Just get used to these kind of stupid games and know that like your kids are watching and they're watching these responses. And I'm like, I guess we're going to go buy new shoes today. Like we just bought them last week, but they're gone. Like,
oh, well.
Just get over it. Like get over these small little things. I hate to like diminish it, but like I've just spun so many wheels trying to be reasonable with an unreasonable person.
That's exactly
so
what it is.
That's it. That's just the thing. So like your kid, and if your kid doesn't go to, like, we're not trying to be professional fucking flag football players here. If they don't go to half the games, they don't go half the games.
Exactly.
But you know what? I promise you, the parent is going to end up doing it because they realize, oh shit, this looks bad on me if I don't bring them to this stuff. And like the kid wants to go. And so it'll all sort of work out in the wash. But like on your, the laundry's really fucking dirty. So just be prepared. Like they're going to take them to all the doctor's appointments. You're going to do all the shit you were doing.
Right.
Anyway. And is it worth it? Like, no, it's not. Like, you know what? Because you just need to be the best version of yourself and give your kid the best experience, or give your kids the best experiences that you can provide. And you can't do that if you're fighting. I know you think you can, but if you're fighting this, like carrying this mental load to these stupid fucking fights with this person over whatever, it's like they're just joy sucking the time that you're getting with your kids. And that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's what they're after.
Yeah.
Is to
You're
ruin
like,
your
and
time.
your kids,
Yeah.
fuck this shit. Like, oh, we should be sitting side by side. No, actually, they don't. Someone told me this, and I know I'm like paddling on, but like someone told me about this about kids. They're like, somebody asked if like, should we do a joint birthday party? And this woman's like, fuck no.
Yeah.
Don't do the joint birthday party because your child is also wearing a mask and they're one version of themselves with one parent and they're another version of themselves with the other parent. And now when you force that child to be in the same room with all of their friends and everything happening, and they know that their last birthday party while you were married got all fucked up. And like, they know that these events create stress and trauma. They don't know who to be. So like, help your kid out and being like, hey, great. Dad's doing like the best party for you on this weekend. That's awesome. How about we do something together another time? Like the more that you can remove like your children from this fantasy of like you're actually creating more stress for them when you put them in the environment. So when you show up for the play, your kid is smart enough to track there's only 100 people there anyway. So it's like, you can sit here and they can sit there and you're like, hey buddy, and you leave. There's, you don't need to go to pizza after the baseball games. Like you don't need to do all that
You
stuff.
don't need to do that. In fact, it's probably not in your children's best interest.
Obviously.
Well, and it's funny,
put them
like
in that position.
we went to watch my kids play. Funny you should mention. And my divorced parents, I'm stuck sitting in between them. And as a 41-year-old woman, I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst fucking thing. It's like bio dad here, me, mom, stepdad. I'm like, this is my living nightmare. Thankfully, the kids, because it's not their trauma, are hunky-dory. Yeah, they could care less. But I'm sitting there as a grown-ass woman going, oh my God, this is my literal nightmare, as if I'm sandwiched between these idiots.
As if you're like 7 years old again.
So you're imagining at 7.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
No.
It's truly not really the way.
You're not doing them any favors by being in the same room together in these situations. Yeah. You're not, because it's just they feel that tension. They know.
Well, and you're like, we're all energy, right? So your energy.
Yeah.
Like my armpits will be sweating. I'm sweating. I smell different. This is like TMI.
No,
like my
it's
stress
true.
sweat is coming out. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
it's a real thing.
And the kids, they pick up on it because they know you so well. They can
smell you coming.
They can
know.
smell. They can smell it. Yeah. Little detectives. This has been so amazing.
So great,
I
Lindsay.
love hearing you speak and really sharing your story. It's not easy to come on and share your story, even though I know you do this all the time, but it's one thing when you're talking about other people's stories, but when you're talking about your own, it's totally different. So thank you.
So thank you. And everybody check out Bitch is a Bad Word, which comes out Tuesdays, if I recall.
Yeah. So we
Tell us
our
why.
favorite C word. It's my favorite thing. I was like, we have to drop on Tuesdays so that every week I can say, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And join our bestie gang. We have resources available on our Instagram page is at Bitch is a Bad Word pod. If you send us a DM, I will answer it. Or Ben likes it.
Yeah, we love Ben.
Sometimes I'm like, this is a Ben response. Like,
he can't wait to jump in there.
I'm like, wait, Ben, you can't answer that question. No, he is so into it. He's like this, like he really like every week he's like, I just learned something. Like maybe I've like, I'm not that bad, but I've learned something. So we are like teaching the men too.
Yes.
And we know that like, I get a lot of heat, like men are abused too. We know that, but that's not my show.
Yeah.
Go get your own, do
Find
your own
show.
thing.
Yeah. There's a show for you.
Dick is a bad word.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like leave our anatomy alone. Like you've got your own bad words you can use. But Bitch is a Bad Word pod. Our Patreon and our Discord is patreon.com/Bitch is a Bad Word. TikTok, YouTube is Bitch is a Bad Word. Our phone number 331-BITCHES. And like, let's grow this bestie gang. Yes. And we're here for you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Lindsay. It's been a real pleasure.
This episode was written and created by Alex Howard and Amanda Silver, produced, edited, and engineered by RTF Productions. Make sure to rate and review our show if you loved it, and give us a follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you stream your podcast to stay up to date on all upcoming episodes. Thanks for listening, and go easy on us. We're not your ex.